Day 1168. Okay, I have to talk about the workbooks. So I went to Staples today to get one workbook printed. I ended up getting four for $8.50. So it should have been about $40. I got it for $8.50. And then the manager said he was going to give me a quote on workbooks. So I get back to church, and then I get an email like just shortly after saying, okay, I got the quote back, so we could do 100 professional workbooks done. Harder cover on the outside, nice paper on the inside, full color, back, front and back, all that stapled, folded, everything. Fully done for $500 for 100 of them. And I was like, yes, that's such a good deal. I mean, $5 a workbook, when it would normally cost like $12 to $15 per workbook. Because his first quote for 75 of them was $750 or $775 or something crazy. And so 1,000 of them would be 500. And I was like, yes, or not 1,000 of them, sorry, 100 of them would be $500, $5 a workbook. And I was like, awesome. And he was like, I just also asked for a quote for 1,000. And I was like, that's interesting, because I didn't ask him at all for a quote for 1,000, just for 100. So I think that's a God wink. And he said, if you do 1,000, we can drop it down to $1.60 per workbook. I was like, what? $1.60 per workbook? Like, that's crazy. That is so cheap. It's ridiculous. And so I was just doing the math, and it's like, okay, 1,000 workbooks would be $1,600 because they're only $1.60 each. So that's great. But those 1,000 workbooks represents 1,000 people that do the coaching. If 1,000 people paid $1,500, that's $1.5 million. Like, so $1.5 million for $1,600 in workbooks. So $1,600 in workbooks would equate to $1.5 million in coaching. Like, what? But yeah, okay, who cares? But it was just like funny that the value of this workbook. So I'm going to show the workbook. So here's the first page, and then I'm going to open it up somehow. And this is just like a sample, but they've got the actual framework explaining how it works, and then they've got their personal framework. So this is what they're going to fill out as they go through the course. So they'll be able to fill out one of these sections after each session. So they've got their own personal framework there. And then we open it up, and we've got identity, where we talk about Moses and walk through the different exercises. And then the next one, we've got gifts, where we talk about Samson and his gift of strength and what our 4 core gifts are that God has given us. And then we go here, we talk about values, which are the desires of our heart. We talk about Paul, how God took him from a hardened heart to a softened heart. And then we go to, after that, the problem you're meant to solve. And we talk about David and Goliath. So the problem you're born to solve in the world. And then after that, we go to the people that you're meant to serve. Jesus was the greatest servant to ever live. And then the last thing that we go over is the vehicle that you're meant to build. So we talk about Noah building the ark, and that's it. So this is a workbook just printed on normal paper. That's $8.50, but they'll do one professionally that's got like a hard cover, like a thick paper cover, and then really high quality paper on the inside, stapled, folded, done, just like that. And I get 1,000 of them for $1.60 each, which eventually I will be ordering tens of thousands. I just know it. God's just lining things up. But how interesting is that? He went from 100 to, yeah, I'll just get a quote for 1,000. I guarantee I'll be doing a video in the future saying, 1,000 people, like, time to call Staples. So, yeah. And it was so crazy because when I was at Staples, the manager just came over and they had people in line and everything, people waiting. The phone was ringing, and he's like, come back here. And I like walked back into their section, and he sat with me for like 15 minutes, just like preparing it. He printed me a sample. He was just so helpful. It was crazy. It was just like VIP service, it was like, dang God, you're really lining this up. And then to get the pricing is awesome. So that's super exciting. Yeah, it's just amazing to see this thing come to life. Like, I'm so grateful, and it's just amazing. I got back to church, and one of the girls looked at it, and she was just like, I explained it to her. She's like, this is amazing. She's like, can I keep this? I was like, no, sorry. I have a few samples. But yeah, it's just awesome to see this come to life. Like, I've been talking about it for so long. I've been working on it for so long. And God just got my heart right. And I'm in the right place at the right time with the right heart with God. So, yeah, it's just, it doesn't feel too good to be true. It just feels too good and true, because God is that good. So I'm going to be in a very different place here shortly. I just know it. God's got very big plans for me, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm kicking butt. I really am. I have my struggles and my challenges, but my commitment to the Lord is just, it's unwavering, and I'm proud of that. And from doing my Warriors of God calls to doing these new believers classes, like, my commitment to the Lord is really unwavering, and I'm really challenging myself. I'm pushing myself. It's just, I'm being as obedient as I can be. I'm turning to Him for wisdom. Like, I really believe I'm doing a great job in my faith, and I think that God agrees with that, because the fruit that He's producing is crazy. So I feel like I'm finally making it, like I'm making it in the world. But I'm making it in the kingdom of God, with God, and He's really making it. I'm just receiving it. And yeah, He's going to open doors that no one can close. So I'm just blown away. So blown away. He's so good. And this is better than anything I could have ever fathomed or imagined on my own. Yeah. How exciting. I'm so proud. I'm so grateful. Only Jesus. For real, only Jesus. Wow. It's like I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, to live into my greatness. And it's right there. And it's not going anywhere. I'm grabbing it, and I'm holding on for the ride all the way to heaven.